Hey everybody, welcome to Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. On this episode, she cooked her way up to executive chef in the city where she grew up, Las Vegas, then competed on Gordon Ramsay's TV show Hell's Kitchen and won, which got her a new job as executive chef at one of his restaurants. Here's Ellie Parker. Chef, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I'm not sure I can claim wonderful, but I'm close. Well, wonderful, no surprise.
Yeah.
You won Hell's Kitchen.
I did. It's still crazy. It's still crazy to say that.
Well, I read that you never expected it. And even when you got to the very end, you were thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to win second place.
Yes. I can tell you wholeheartedly that when I was behind those doors, all I said to myself was, Silver's still on the podium. You did great. I'm proud of myself. My friends and family are going to be proud. And I was proud of the person I was standing next to. You know, I never in a million years thought that my door was going to open. No way in hell.
You yourself described your experience on the show as a roller coaster because, how do I phrase this politely? Apparently you sucked at first.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny, like coming home after everything. You know, I had friends, family, kind of like, oh, I bet you just dominated the entire season. And I just had to sit there like, oh boy, no.
Yeah, because you can't say anything.
Yeah.
This airs months after it's over.
Years sometimes. Mine was about a year and a half after. So just like, no, that's not at all what happened actually. And from being such a big fan watching every season of this show, it kind of goes that way. I mean, you don't know what to expect once you start in this competition. You don't know anything. So it was just do your best. And, you know, the first few challenges definitely had issues because 45 minutes is tough. I mean, I work in the industry, but we're not timed. Here's 5 ingredients, make a dish in 45 minutes, go. That's not real. No kitchen operates like that. So that one was definitely new for me to get behind. But the whole season, I knew that I am one of the strongest line cooks that you can ever see. I have just been doing it for so long and I prided myself on that. So I was like, listen, I might not get 10s out of 10s on all my challenge dishes, but I know I'll blow them out of the water with my services. You know, calling back to Ramsay and following his cue. I had a lot of experience in that.
Well, I'm reading in an article here, you talked back to Gordon Ramsay at some point, right?
I did.
You disagreed with him?
Mm-hmm. I did.
That takes a pair.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by any means.
What did you disagree about?
In my finale service, where we act as the chefs and we pick past contestants to work as our crew to create our dishes throughout the service, one of my castmates, she put up a chicken and Ramsay said it's overcooked. And I took a look at it, I touched it, I felt it, and I knew in the bottom of my heart that chicken was perfectly fine. So I said, no, chef, I'm sending it. In my mind, all I could think of, oh my God, this chicken better be right, because if it is not, I just signed my little kiss of death right there of not winning. But also, he wanted us to show him that we could run a kitchen and make decisions whether or not the food was acceptable or up to par. And that's what I was doing. That's what I do at my restaurant. When I work Expo, I will either send it because it's right or I will kick it back because it's not. And I knew it was right.
What's he really like?
Oh, he's a sweetheart. I can't say enough how nice he is of a man. I mean, yes, he's a chef. He's going to tell you when you're wrong and when the food is not acceptable or when you do something wrong.
Well, on TV, he's going to yell about it.
And he does. And I mean, how he is how he is. And people don't realize, like, on a show like this, there's no cuts or retakes. There's no, all right, and let's start over. Nothing scripted. I mean, we just live our normal day. What we say is what we say, and what you get is what you get. You know, there's no forethought or replanning or anything like that. And that's what's truly amazing about this, is because it is 100% real. But he's there to lift you up. He's there to make you believe in yourself when it's really easy to doubt yourself in those situations. And it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. It's about how you recover when you make a mistake. It's about how you learn and you grow. And a lot of people love to say that I'm like this underdog story. I don't necessarily think that. I think that I'm a good chef that had some down days. And I mean, we all have them. So it's normal. It's perfectly normal to have those.
Let me take this conversation a place I hadn't planned right now. You talk about chefs have down days.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like the Michelin Star, where if they catch you on the down day every restaurant on earth is going to have, you lose a star or you don't get a star?
Yeah. And that's what's so incredibly difficult about this industry at the end of the day. We all have personal lives. We all have our personal struggles. We all have fights with loved ones or significant others where, you know what, you're just at work and your head is just not in the game. And that's what's so hard. You just have to kind of fake it till you make it in those kind of situations, because you're right. There are people, you never know when a food critic's going to walk in, or when the James Beard Foundation or maybe Michelin Star comes in. You can't afford to have those kind of days. So it's just put on a smile, let's get this done, and then I can think about it later.
Well, do we put too much stock in awards?
Yes and no. I highly believe yes and no. I don't believe that, before a Michelin Star, let's say, a restaurant is still operating that same way. It's still producing the exact same way. They get that star, now they're a destination place. Now their clientele increases by 20, 25%. People are traveling from across the globe to try you. It's still the same thing that was there before. And let's say a restaurant loses a star, then everything drops. People stop coming, lose the interest, lose the intrigue. Still the same food, but maybe they just had one of those off days. It's not so much that they lost any of what they're already doing. And I say that from experience, as I'm up for a James Beard Award right now.
Yes, you are. 2026. You're a semifinalist for what? Emerging Chef?
Emerging Chef, yeah.
Okay, so this win means you got to change jobs, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What you won was an executive chef job working for Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah. So like every season, it's like a half cash prize, half job prize. And there's been plenty of winners who haven't taken the job, but the prize that I won was Executive Chef House Kitchen, Foxwoods Resort in Connecticut, which is never a place I thought my career would take me.
But you're going there in, a couple months?
Mm-hmm. I'll be taking over there in June. Yeah. So I take over that restaurant. Season 23, Kyle Timpson, he is actually fulfilling his year-long contract in that same position. So he's done at the end of May, and then I kind of make my transition over in June. Scary, exciting, everything in between, trying to figure out how to move across country because I've never done that. I've been in Vegas almost my entire life. I can tell you where to rent a U-Haul in Vegas, but not how to do it to Connecticut.
Well, let's talk about that. You weren't born in Vegas, but you grew up there, right? Tell me that story.
Yeah, so I was born in Racine, Wisconsin. I lived there up until about 6 years old, and my dad actually got a huge promotion within his company, and that's what brought us to Vegas. So we packed up. At the time, it was just me and my sisters, and then mom and dad, and we left a huge support group of family back there in Wisconsin to come here. I did all my schooling here from elementary all the way up to college, and I planned on leaving for college, actually. I planned on going to Johnson Wales University in Denver, but then ultimately decided to stay here in town. And I just realized I want to pursue being a chef, and I think this is one of the best places in the world to do it.
Well, you went to UNLV, which has a great hospitality program.
I did, yes.
But before you got there, your interest in food, your interest in it as a career. Now, your parents were not in the biz, right?
Heck no.
Okay, so what spurred your interest?
I like to say, I'll preface this with, I found out when I was about 20 or 21 years old that I actually came from a long line of chefs. But before that, I had no idea that I did. But when I was younger, I loved to paint and I loved to draw. I was very artistic. I picked up a guitar, piano, drums, anything artistic I loved to do. And then around 9 years old, I started watching the Food Network. I started watching Guy Fieri and Chopped, and I started watching even Travel Channel. I started watching like Anthony Bourdain.
Well, hold on. Tell me Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives was on your list.
Absolute favorite show.
Well, you don't have to go overboard.
No, it was. You can ask my parents. I loved it. I even made them. There was an old episode. They went to Boulder City to the Coffee Cup Cafe, and I made my parents drive me like an hour and a half at 6 o'clock in the morning just to go try the restaurant because it was on the show.
That was in season 1.
Yes.
And after season 1, I was back in the office, but I was at the Coffee Cup Cafe shooting that episode.
Oh, yeah. See, I literally, Saturday morning, because they're only open in the morning, it's a tiny joint. I was like, Mom and Dad, we have to go here. Please, please, please take me to this.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Now, the sad thing is you were a child and I was already an old man. But anyway.
I was pretty young.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, so you start watching the Food Network.
Uh-huh. My sisters would come home after school and turn on cartoons, and I came home and turned on Food Network, and I fell in love with the artistry of it. So around maybe 11-ish is when here in Las Vegas, when you're in middle school, you can actually apply to get into culinary and technical academies, which are still public schools, but they're high schools with programs attached to them. You can specialize in anything from biomedical, culinary, media, hospitality, you name it, we have it. And I really wanted to get into one of these schools. My older sister went to one of them here. She loved her experience, so I wanted to as well. And I had the papers in front of me with all of these programs, and I just said, Mom, is culinary arts an art form? And she goes, well, it's in the name. She said, it's called culinary arts. So I checked it off and I said, that's one. And a few months later, when the announcement came out, because it's a lottery system here, so it's just kind of random on if you do get in or not. And I did. I actually got into 2 programs. I got into medical and I got into culinary. And then I had to choose which one I wanted to go into. And I just was like, you know what? I love food. I love cooking. I love trying new food. I was the kid where my family is very meat and potato based family. They're not adventurous with food. We didn't ever eat anything crazy. And I'd be the one begging my mom.
Wait, but hold on. Apparently your grandparents were kind of foodies?
Oh, yeah. So my Nana and Papa from my dad's side, well, actually, so my granddad, Cajun man, born and raised, loved Southern food, would always cook, Creole, Cajun food. My Nana is full-blooded Italian, so always grew up with family dinners with her making her sauces and her meatballs and pastas, and I always loved that. But it's all from my dad's side, actually. I have great uncles, great grandfathers, and, all the way up to the great-greats who all worked in restaurants, all were chefs. I have a great uncle that owns a restaurant in Florida, and I never knew that. And it shares our family last name from my Italian side.
So it's in the blood.
Exactly. So I always felt like the oddball, like the weird one out, the black sheep of the family. And then I learned in my 20s that I come from this. It's literally in my DNA to do this. And it made me feel so much more understood. The relief that washed over my body going, okay, I'm not a weirdo. I didn't just pick this up.
So you're in a form of culinary school as a teenager.
Yes. I started at 13.
Did it just click right in?
No. It was very difficult. I mean, my first year of culinary school, we never even picked up a knife. We picked up a diagram of a knife and we had to label it. But it was a lot of book work, a lot of here's how to cost out a menu. We're going to teach you food costs and yields and labor costs. And here's a bunch of diagrams of things and label it. And we're going to teach you this way. So a lot of people dropped out because it was boring. We thought, hey, we're just going to cook food all day and have some fun.
And this was on top of regular classes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still did our normal work.
When did you get to finally pick up a knife?
In my second year, in my sophomore year. So we had to go through a whole year of school without really doing anything. And then we got our uniform. We got our chef coat and the checkered pants and the hat. And we got to dress out every day because we had a 6,000 square foot commercial kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a full running cafe and bistro out of it. So instead of just normal school lunch, students, we could go and buy ourselves lunch. And then we would be working it. We'd be actually getting in tickets and cooking it.
What an incredible idea.
Yeah. I still claim so much of my upbringing with the school to where I am today because I feel like I was 4 years ahead of where I should have been because at 17 when I graduated, that's when I got my first line cook job on the Strip at the Venetian.
Well, hold on. You come out of high school because of this program. They give you an associate degree in culinary arts, baking and pastry?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So when I started college doing the restaurant management program.
At UNLV?
Yeah, UNLV. I was actually able to skip a lot. I mean, I still had to take my prereqs, of course, but I was able to go into the higher tier of the food and beverage courses because I already had all the training behind me. I already had the knowledge. I had the certificates to prove it. So I was in, a year or two ahead of where I should have been. That helped me so much. I mean, it saved me a good amount of money because college is not the most cheap thing in the world.
Even before UNLV, you were cooking on the Strip?
Right before UNLV, yes. So right out of high school. So before then, in high school, I actually was working. I started working at around 15.
Doing what?
I was a prep cook at a restaurant right next to my school. So I would clock in at 3:30 in the morning, work until 6:45, clock out, go right behind, go to school from 7 to 1, and then at 1:30 clock back in and work until about 8 or 9 at night. I mean, I was just getting my toes in the water. It was difficult. I wanted to make some money, and I just wanted to learn. I wanted to get in there and just start learning finally what it was like in a real restaurant. And then did that for about 2.5 years. And right after graduation, it wasn't easy getting my first line cook job on the Strip, but I did it.
Where was it? What were you doing?
It was so it's no longer there, but it was called Public House, and it was inside of the Venetian. They were like an upscale pub, duck confit poutine and smoked deviled eggs, bison burgers, stuff like that.
There's a weird element to cooking in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you have some people who care about the food, but also you have people who are there for anything other than the food, and they just kind of have to refuel. So
yeah.
How do you keep everybody happy?
You don't. You don't. And I've come to learn that food is subjective. And that's what I try to train everyone, that you can't have an ego. We could listen to the same song. I could love it. You could hate it. It's subjective. We could look at the same art piece. You could love it. I could hate it. It's subjective. The same as food. I could love something and anyone else who tries it could not like it. It could be a flavor combination that only I like, or maybe only 2 other people like. You're never going to make every single person happy. We try our hardest.
So who are you cooking? Are you cooking for yourself?
No.
Are you trying to assess what the broad public taste is? How do you decide?
I like to cook food the way I like to eat it.
So you are cooking for yourself in some respects.
Kind of. I like recognizable ingredients prepared in a way that you're not going to do at home. But that means like you're not going to look at a menu and be, what do any of these words mean? What is this? What is this? What is it? What does that mean? What is this? I don't like not knowing what I'm reading on a menu. I like to just be able to look at it and be like, ooh, I've had all these things, but I've never had it this way.
So you're not a fan of tasting menus. And by the way, either am I.
No, I'm not. I like to dine at them sometimes if I look at them beforehand and see that I'm going to like everything on there. But I mean, I'm just like everyone else. I don't eat everything. There's a lot of things I don't like to eat. If it's on a tasting menu and I can't change that, I don't enjoy spending my money on something I'm not going to like eating.
My complaint is very much that many tasting menus, many high-end restaurants, are more of a show than a meal, and that I want to go in and get the enjoyment out of a meal, and that if I want a show, I'll go to the movies or the theater. I've
got to say, I'm kind of with you there. I'm not a big fan of everything being dictated what I eat, and then it's just here, just give us your credit card.
Well, in Vegas, there's a lot of give me your credit card.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I enjoy, sometimes I'm not going to be in the mood for steak. I'm going to be in the mood for seafood. And you know what? They have seafood on this menu. I'm going to get the seafood tonight. There's going to be nights where I don't want a belly busting, like heavy, dense meal where I'm going to feel gross the rest of the night. I want something a little lighter. So then that's what I'm going to choose. Or there's times where I am downright starving and I want everything on this menu and I'm going to eat it all, or I'm going to attempt to.
Give me that tomahawk steak.
Yeah, exactly. Give me all of it. I will devour it all by myself. Some tasting menus are really cool. If there are tasting menus, I do enjoy the ones where you have an option. So it's choose one of these for your first, choose one of these for your second, and choose one of these for your third. Because then you have a little bit more say so. But that's one big reason why I was so happy and thrilled to get off the Strip. Now I do appreciate everything that's happening down there, but I wanted to work in a place that was more local, where I could get the same exact ingredients, the same exact steaks that I knew that I was getting on the Strip, and charge a quarter of what they charge on the Strip. So that way it's more obtainable for the locals, where, we don't go to steakhouses because I'm not going to pay $120 for a 12-ounce filet on a plate. Nope, you will never pay those prices in my restaurant.
You're talking about Main Street Provisions, where you're currently
The executive chef.
Yeah.
Let's get you there.
Yeah.
Take me through your resume in Vegas.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Or at least give me the high points. You worked at a bunch of places there. When you got out of UNLV, where'd you go?
So that's when I started at Public House.
Right.
I was there at the Venetian. That restaurant closed. And then I applied and I started working at Culinary Dropout at the Hard Rock.
What kind of food?
Very similar, kind of like high-end pub food. Burgers, sandwiches, fried chicken, that kind of thing.
Coming right back.
Every restaurant I was at, I was always just put on garde manger or salads or pantry just because I was the girl coming in. I'm young, I'm short.
Well, the girl thing, let's not jump over that.
It's a big thing.
There's a sexism inherent in looking at a female chef and saying, put her on salads.
Mm-hmm.
How hard has that been to fight as you worked your way up?
Horrible. Almost every single chef of mine, which have always been male, was, okay, where do you want to work? Pastries or salads? And I said, I want to work the hotline. No. Pastries or salads. And I'm like, okay, cool. Put me on broiler. Put me on the grill. Put me on saute. Put me on hot apps. I don't care.
Where did you first get put on the hotline?
The first time I really got put on the hotline was at MB Steak inside of the Hard Rock. So after Culinary Dropout closed, I got offered a job there because their garde manger cook had just quit. So they just saw me and just said, hey, this place is closing in 2 weeks. You want to work across the casino? And I just said, sure, I need a job. I have bills to pay. And I did get offered garde manger at first. And then that is where I met my mentor, Patrick Munster. I came to him and he did not care that I was a girl. He didn't care that I was young. He didn't care about any of it. He just said, you work hard, you respect me, I respect you. That's how my kitchen runs. And I said, I can get behind that. That's something I can do. And I just came to him and I said, Chef, I want to work the hotline. I want to learn. And he goes, all right, awesome. Go work hot apps. No one likes working hot apps. Go see how you fit over there. After that, I never got put on Garmo ever again. I worked my way up. I learned broiler, sides, saute, and in a high volume steakhouse on the Strip. It was a lot. I mean, it was a learning curve for sure. You don't know what it's like cooking 400 or 500 steaks a night until you actually do it, and your arms are riddled in scars at the end of the night and burns.
Can you cook a good steak at home without a 1700-degree broiler?
Oh, yeah.
What's the trick?
Cast iron skillet, get that thing nice and ripping hot, get a beautiful crust on it, both sides, depending on how you like it and how thick the meat, changes the time. But hard sear with just like a nice neutral oil, flip it, you add a little bit of butter, maybe a little garlic thyme if you want, baste it a little bit, and you let it rest. You'll have the most beautiful piece of steak. I actually just did that last night for dinner.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, cast iron skillet, people. I mean, you can do it with really any skillet.
I did lamb chops in cast iron last night.
Oh, so good.
Okay, you were working line cook.
Mm-hmm.
When did you finally become a sous chef?
I became a sous chef at 21, and it was because we were expanding. This is when COVID was just about, not over, but the Strip had reopened, everything like that. This was 2021.
What restaurant?
When I became a sous chef, it was called Brera Osteria, and it's a sister restaurant to Matteo's inside of the Venetian. My sous chef at one steakhouse where I learned how to be a line cook, his brother was the head chef at the Venetian and he needed a sous chef. So my chef was like, hey, you know what? I got someone. She's young, but I know what she's made out of. And so I was able to get an interview, and the interview was nerve-wracking because I was 21. I knew I was kind of in over my head trying to apply for a sous chef position, especially at a restaurant that's doing 9 to 1,200 covers a night, making $20 million a year.
What kind of food?
Italian.
Okay, obviously Osteria, yeah.
Very traditional Italian, no Alfredo on that menu at all.
Did you have a background for traditional Italian?
No, not at all. I had only really worked pubs and steakhouse.
So what got you hired? How'd you get a sous chef job there?
So the executive chef in the meeting said, absolutely not, I don't want you. And the head chef there, Miguel, he was actually only 28 at the time.
Under the executive chef.
Under the executive, correct. He said, no, I like her. Let's give her a chance. And it was the weirdest thing having, an executive and a head chef talking right in front of me like I wasn't in the room.
You wanted to say, hey, excuse me, I can hear you.
They're fighting over, one wanted me there, the other one didn't. And so they came upon this agreement. We'll hire her as a line cook and we'll revisit in 3 months and see if she's ready to be a sous chef. They offered me a little bit more money hourly. And honestly, it was time for me to kind of branch off and do something new. So I started. in. And in 2 weeks is when they sat me down and they said, all right, you're the new sous chef. And I said, oh, cool. So I didn't need 3 months. And they were like, no, we were wrong. 2 weeks, that's all you needed. You're good to go. And that's how I got my first sous position. And it was not an easy ride. I walked in there just, hey, I'm your chef. And everyone looked at me like, pipe down, young one. You can't talk to us like that.
So how did you earn their respect?
My first week on a Friday night, we had 3 call-offs.
People who didn't come in.
Exactly. People who didn't come into work that day. And that was about a third of my line as far as my employees on the line that night. Pasta station in an Italian restaurant is one of the hardest. And normally we would have 2 to 3 guys on that station on a Friday night. And I said, chef, I got this. And he said, you've never worked this station before. You don't even know what we're doing. And I said, I got this. That night, I believe we did almost 1,000 covers.
Whoa.
By myself. At the end of the night, every single cook came up to me and fist bumped and said, hey, chef, glad you're here. I earned my respect. And I think it's important that people realize respect is not given, respect is earned. And I've walked into every kitchen, whether I'm a sous chef or a line cook or an executive chef, I will earn your respect. I don't expect you to know anything about me. You're going to see how I work, and I'm not afraid to throw down on a line.
You then moved on to the Bedford.
Did.
At the Paris, which was a Martha Stewart restaurant. You were sous chef there when it opened.
Yes, I was.
Was Martha there?
Oh, she was there sometimes.
How was that?
Different. I had never done the whole celebrity chef thing before. I had never opened a restaurant before as a part of a management team. And it was my first taste of the culinary union. Every line cook job I ever had, I was never a part of a union. Every restaurant was never a union. And obviously management, we weren't, but our line cooks were. So that was definitely a change for me to learn about the rules and regulations of some of that stuff. Because listen, I grew up in kitchens where my chef would just yell at me if I messed up. You can't really do that in that kind of situation.
Which doesn't seem to be a bad thing. I mean, we've all heard about
Toxic kitchens.
No, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of protection. It's definitely a pro and con situation. You know, I don't like being a mean chef. I don't like yelling at my crew. I treat people with respect. I treat people the way that I like to be treated. If there's an issue, I like to bring it up with compassion and with care and respect and not try to bring someone down. That's not who I am. We're all in this together. We're all in the heat together. We're doing the same thing. There's a lot of respect. But yeah, opening a restaurant was hard. My mentor, Patrick, he had told me when I got the job, he said, kid, just be prepared. It's going to be a lot. And I was like, nah, it's going to be great, chef. What are you talking about?
Was he there?
No.
Well, he was just advising you.
Yeah, I left his restaurant to become a sous chef at the Venetian.
Okay, so you're a sous chef at the Venetian. Now you're a sous chef at Martha's place.
Mm-hmm.
You went back to your mentor as a line cook?
Yeah.
This was Main Street Provisions, right?
Yes, this is Main Street Provisions.
Why'd you take the step back?
Honestly, at 23, after the Bedford, it was not the best experience for me. I started to find myself losing my love and passion.
For food?
For food. At 23, I had found myself at 2 o'clock in the morning on the side of the road, calling my mom, crying, saying, I waved the white flag. I'm done. Culinary's not for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And that broke my heart. Saying that out loud, like it was something I was feeling and thinking, it broke my heart. And I just kept believing that maybe I'm not cut out to make it. Maybe I should have listened to all the chefs and everyone that I met saying, you know, it's going to break me and I'm going to be miserable and all this stuff. And he called me like 2 days later after that phone call I had with my mom. And he goes, hey, where are you? And I said, well, I'm at home. And he's like, no, like, where are you working? And I said, actually, I'm not. I kind of resigned from my job and I don't really know what I'm going to do, chef. And he goes, well, I'm not working on the strip anymore. And I just said, what? And he said, I'm helping my friend out at a restaurant in the Arts District. And I said, Arts District? This is the Arts District 3.5 years ago. You know, 75% of what's there now today wasn't there.
Pre-gentrification.
Yes, exactly. It was a rough area. And I said, what are you doing down there? He goes, well, I need your help. I need you to come here. Will you take a step back, become a line cook and make like a third of what you're making now and get no benefits?
Oh, that sounds great. Sure, chef.
And I said, when do I start? And he said, tomorrow. And I said, yeah, I'll be there. And then I hung up the phone and I just said, oh my God, what did I just do? Am I really taking a step back down? And I got there. And it was rough. I mean, it wasn't where it needed to be. Patrick was changing the whole entire theme of the restaurant into a steakhouse. So changing the menu entirely. The line cooks that we had at the time, it's not like people were busting down our door to work for an up-and-coming restaurant in the Arts District. So he just said, fix it. And it was hard for me because I came from this a few years of being a chef into now, okay, I'm not the boss anymore. I'm just a line cook. I'm equal. I can't boss anyone around, but they think I'm bossing them around and I'm, trying to find that, okay, I don't want all my coworkers to hate me. And it was such a learning curve. But man, once everything got into motion, he also called back one of his other proteges, Steven, and he was a line cook with me for years and years and years. So then we started working together again under our mentor. And then, man, that love, that spark all came back. The passion came back. My creativity came back. And I, said, okay, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. I just wasn't in the right setting.
Well, you didn't remain a line cook.
No. About a year later, almost a year to the day. I think it was a year and a week later, Patrick left as executive chef and his sous chef got promoted up to executive chef. And then that's when the owner, Kim, sat me down and said, I want you to be the new sous chef here. And I said, absolutely. I already know what I'm doing. You don't got to train me. I got this. I've been watching Adrian. I've been watching Patrick. And then I moved into Adrian's spot. And then a year after that is when Adrian left. He moved to Texas with his wife and daughter. Then Kim was like, okay, I want you to be the executive chef. And I said, I've been dreaming of this. It's an honor. But then there was really no one underneath me at the time who was ready to move up to become a sous chef. When Chef Patrick left, Steven, who was line cook with me, he also followed him to his other restaurant. But then I called Steven back up and said, hey, buddy, do you want to come back and be my sous chef this time? And he said, let's get this. Let's do this. Because we had been we've known each other for 9 years and we've always talked about running a restaurant together. So it was like, it's our opportunity. We're actually getting this opportunity, unlike a lot of other people. And that's how that happened. So sorry, long story long.
A good story. I read that you had a personal goal of becoming an executive chef by the time you were 26. How old were you when this happened?
25.
You beat it by a year.
Beat it by a year. I have set a goal in a timeline based off of a local chef here. Her name is Nicole Bresson, and she has been such an idol of mine for so many years. And I know that she got her first Sous job at 21, 22. She became an executive chef at 25, 26. And I set my goals I wanted to follow her timeline. And it seems so unobtainable. But yeah, somehow I did it.
Well, okay, so the place became yours. Did you change things?
You know what? Not really. Kim, the owner, because ultimately at the end of the day, we still have a boss. And she loved the route that Patrick took it. We are not a steakhouse because we have so many other things on the menu and we have so much fun. We don't just follow guidelines of certain cuisines. I mean, we'll put Asian on the menu. We'll put a Mexican dish on the menu. Well, not Mexican inspired, Italian inspired.
What is your cooking philosophy?
My cooking philosophy is treating ingredients with the utmost care and respect that you can give them. But also, I just want to make it feel like you're at, your grandma's house having an amazing dinner. Nothing pretentious. I don't like to cook pretentious food. Known ingredients, but maybe made in a way that you wouldn't do at home. Who wants to braise short ribs for 5 hours at home? No one wants to do that. But you know what? We'll do that for you, and you'll have the most delicious, most tender short rib you've ever had.
Which was at one point something you braised because it was an offcut. And now that it's popular, the price has gone up and up and up.
Yep, exactly. It's the same as so many ingredients, things that were undesirable at one point, and now they're incredibly desirable. So now the price is racked up on them.
Well, I'm looking at your menu. You do short rib dumplings?
We do, yeah.
Steamed, fried? How do you make them?
It's a little bit different. It's not a dumpling like how you think it is. It's actually, we make a dough out of potato flakes and rice flour. And that's what coats the outside, and we deep fry it so that it's a nice crispy shell on the outside, but soft potato base on the inside. And then it's filled with just shredded short rib meat. We use the braising liquid from the short ribs, and that's the sauce on top of all of it.
It's an eclectic menu.
Yeah.
You're doing a tomahawk pork chop?
That is my pride and joy.
Well, tell me about it.
Yeah, so we're doing 16-ounce Carabuda tomahawk pork chop. Carabuda is like the Wagyu of pork. There was a huge craze with Duroc pork a while back, which it's delicious. But now, once I had Carabuda, I mean, it's marbled pork chop. I've never seen that before. So it is juicy, it's tender, it's flavorful. I have never ordered a pork chop in any restaurant, and nor would I order chicken because it's usually dry and gross. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but especially a pork chop, it's going to be overcooked and it's just not going to be enjoyable. But at my restaurant, we're doing it right now with a dark rum and a molasses glaze on top of it, and we let it caramelize in the oven. And then we're serving it with grilled apples and buttered sauteed green beans.
I'm in.
It's delicious. And we tell people like, hey, we do serve our pork chop around medium. And people are like, what? You can't have pink in pork. And it's, oh no, yes you can if it's good quality pork.
That's a complete misunderstanding.
Complete misunderstanding.
The FDA says you can serve pork at what, 145?
Yeah, I want that beautiful rosy pink in that center. And it is so delicious. And people get so freaked out when they see it. But we tell them, like, you got to understand, you can eat it this way. We're not giving you anything that's going to make you sick.
Yeah, it's not like chicken tartare.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not going to give you any mid-rare chicken, but it is so cool to teach people certain things like that too, that even I grew up that way where my mom, like, no, you have to cook it completely all the way through or you'll get sick.
You got to kill it.
You got to kill it. And, no, you don't.
You mentioned chicken a minute ago, and reading an article on the best stuff to order at your place, and the oven roasted chicken is there. What do you do to chicken that makes it not gross?
We just cook it right.
What is cooking it right? Can I do it at home that way?
We do a half chicken. So it's a leg, thigh, breast, and wing. The only bone that's left in it is the airline. So just this little drum part. But then we remove the bones from the thigh and the leg. But it's all attached by the skin. Salt and pepper on all of our proteins. We do not crazy season any of our steaks, pork, fish, chicken. Salt and pepper only. You want to let your protein sing. Real nice hot pan, cold oil, skin down, let the skin render, and then 100% of the cooking is actually done on that skin. So we throw it in the oven the way that we put it in the pan, and we have it down to kind of a science with our temps on our oven and our humidity levels, but it should be in that oven for only about 12 minutes.
What?
Yeah, we let it rest for 4 minutes.
12 minutes in the oven?
Well, we do keep our ovens a little higher.
Yeah, what temperature are you cooking that at?
So we're doing about 420 degrees, and then we do 20% humidity. So the humidity level on our oven actually helps keep all of that moisture in our proteins.
Now, you can control that in a professional. I can't control that at home, right?
Exactly. And so what I tell people at home is when you cook your bird for 12 minutes, but it also depends on the size. If they're smaller, less time. If they're larger, more time. But, chicken should be cooked to 165 degrees. I will pull my chickens at about 155.
Assuming it keeps cooking.
It's going to rest. Protein always goes up more because they rest. At home, I take it out of the oven, I'll flip it over so that it's skin side up. And then what I do is I'll put a little bit of butter and just a little bit of veggie stock or chicken stock or any kind of stock that you have. And then that way, when it's resting, the liquid, the stock and the butter is actually reabsorbing back into the meat itself. And then in about 5 minutes, when you temp it again, it should be 165 degrees. You cut into it, it's going to be the juiciest piece of meat you'll ever have.
It's interesting you say that because I am so afraid of drying chicken out that when I roast it, I actually put some stock in the pan.
Exactly. But people think it's a bad thing. No, it's going to reabsorb it. That's why we rest meat. That's what people say. It sucks all the juices back into the fibers of the protein. And that's why it's so important to do that.
You do scallops.
Yes.
And you did them on the show.
A lot.
How you doing them at the restaurant?
So right now we get Hokkaido Japanese scallops and they're U10, so they're nice and big and beautiful. Same thing as always, you're going to get a non-stick pan. Very important for scallops, non-stick.
Well, I'm real curious because where I live on the Jersey Shore, we get phenomenal scallops.
Oh, yeah.
And I have never successfully achieved the kind of sear that I want. So go to it, chef.
So it's called the Elmer effect. So what I learned in culinary school is you put your pan on high heat, you you let it heat up. And then right before you want to put your protein in, so your scallops, you're going to put the oil in and then immediately put your scallops in. So you want a hot pan, but cold oil. And that's how you achieve that really beautiful, like golden brown sear on a scallop. And also, people just get a little scared about just letting it sit for a second. Don't touch it. People think like put something in a pan. Okay, I got to flip it. No, you don't.
Do you flip it at all? I've been told you don't flip scallops at all.
The way I do it is 90% of the cooking is done on one side. And then what I do is once I flip them, I turn the heat off and I take it off. And then I let the residual heat from the pan just lightly kiss the bottom of them because you don't want them crispy on both sides. You just want the top. And that way there's no more heat added. So it's not going to keep cooking it, but it's just that residual that will then work its way up to the center to cook it all the way through.
You going to miss this place?
I'm going to miss everything about this place. It's been really hard. My last week of work is actually this current week.
Oh my goodness. Our timing is, I guess, perfectly appropriate.
Yeah.
They're going to give you a big goodbye?
Well, we're going to have a little party in the next few weeks where I can just hang out with everyone. But it's hard, Main Street Provisions is my baby. I'm the only one that can say that I have literally done every single position. I have washed dishes there. I've prep cooked. We make all the pastries, my sous chef and I. I've sous chefed. I've line cooked. I'm executive chef. I have put so much literal blood, sweat, and tears into this place. And I'm so proud of it. I'm proud of what my crew and I have been able to do because it's not just me. It's everyone that works with me. Front, back of the house, every single person. I'm so glad that we're always busy and I cannot wait to see where it goes. My replacement as the new executive chef, he's fantastic. He's amazing. It is hard, but it's a bittersweet goodbye. But I also know that my career, I've always wanted this huge opportunity and I have it. I'm so thankful and grateful that I do. It is very scary moving to the East Coast. I mean, I've been here my whole life. I mean, it's 98 degrees in March here in Vegas.
It's going to be a little different in Connecticut.
Yes, seasons.
Unlike Vegas, on the East Coast, you're going to have access to a wide range of local seasonal ingredients.
Oh, especially the seafood. Oh my gosh. My fiance and I, whenever we can eat seafood, we do. We love it. And of course, everything's imported here. So it's not like we can get the fresh stuff. We can't go to the markets. Even in the restaurant, I'm so excited to get fresh produce, get fresh ingredients, actual true seasonal ingredients, unlike what I can get here in Vegas. And I'm so excited to learn different cuisines. I mean, East Coast food is very different than Southwest food, entirely different. So I am so excited to learn and grow, not only grow my palate, but grow my knowledge, because at the end of the day, as a chef, that's all I want to do is learn and grow. There's way too much for me to learn to ever think that I've tapped out. I'm 26 years old. I got decades and decades of knowledge to still learn. So it is so exciting. And I'm going to be working with some pretty amazing people.
Well, Chef, what you've achieved is pretty damn remarkable. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
And thank you for taking the time to talk with me. So listen, all the best wishes going forward. And again, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. It's been my honor, truly.
Ellie Parker on Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. I'll see you next time. And tell a friend to check us out wherever they get their podcasts.